Hi, Professor. I'm Irish Dizon. I just want to present my international business article. Let me share my presentation. My article, Professor, is Energy Firms, Green Groups, and Other Rich Deal on Solar Farms by Ivan Penn in NY Times. Before I start in the background of the article, Professor, I just want to say the introduction for this article in energy firms. The news article for this, Professor, is an agreement enriched by a diverse coalition of stakeholders in the United States, comprising solar developers, environmentalists, farming groups, and tribal organizations. Their aim is to streamline the development of solar farm projects, which is very large, which have frequently encountered significant challenges related to land use and environmental concerns, leading to opposition from various quarters. This landmark deal, the result of extensive discussion organized by the Stanford Woods Institute for the Environment, the Solar Energy Industries Association, and the Nature Conservancy, seeks to address complex the issues related to land use, biodiversity, and opposition from groups concerned about the cultural and ecological impact of these projects. So these challenges have often slowed the progress of solar energy, crucial in the fight against climate change. The agreement offers a framework for greater public involvement in the process of selecting suitable locations for some solar projects. This approach is expected to facilitate the resolution of disputes and disagreements between project developers and opponents without resorting to lengthy lethal battles. While this agreement is a significant step toward resolving these issues, it does not encompass the fossil fuel industry or conservative groups that have traditionally opposed renewable energy projects. Moreover, the influence on local groups opposing solar projects within the communities remains uncertain. In this news, Abigail Rose Hopper, the president and CEO of the Solar Energy Industries Association, is very positive and optimistic because of this agreement that will expedite the resolution of differences between the developers' local environmental groups. So the solar industry aims to significantly increase the share of solar energy in the United States electricity generations, targeting 30% share by 2030 for up to the current 5%. So the article recognizes that while rooftop solar panels encounter less oppositions, they alone cannot meet the nation's growing electricity demand. Larger solar projects which occupy more land are necessary to bridge the energy gap. This article also, Professor, is the underscore the successful implementation of this agreement could have the substantial impact on the growth of solar energy in the United States and its effort to combat climate change. It highlights a specific solar project in Kentucky, situated on the site of a former coal mine, as an example of the collaborative approach that stakeholders hope to replicate nationwide. But this project's name is Starfire is anticipated to supply power to 170,000 homes annually. So this news article, Professor, introduces a groundbreaking agreement among a diverse group of stakeholders working to address the challenges hindering the development of large-scale solar farm projects in the United States. Their ultimate goal is to expedite the adoptions of solar energy in the fight against climate change. But in ways that you said, Professor, in the ways highlighted in this article related to the our course content and learning outcome is I see in the week 5 in terms of business plan versus strategic plan, that the articles highlighted issues that this energy firms is relevant. The article discusses how environmental concerns, including biodiversity and land use issues, often hinder large solar project development. It emphasizes the importance of resolving the conflicts toward the solar farm development and the need for greater public participation in the planning process. So, additionally, the article mentions the goal of increasing the share of electricity from solar to 20 to 30% by 2030. It also discusses trade-off in project development, such as choosing a former coal mine site for solar project. Lastly, it highlights the importance of strategic partners, as seen in the example of the electric truck in the Rivian collaborating with the Nature Conservancy and project developers. So, in my introduction and background of the article, for this overall is the article discusses an agreement reached by various stakeholders, including solar developers, environmentalist, farming groups, and tribal organizations to facilitate the construction of large solar farms in the United States. These solar projects have often faced opposition due to concern over land use and environmental impact. The agreement aims to address this issue and expedite the deployment of solar energy to combat climate change. Next, in identification of key issues. Land use and biodiversity concern. Large solar projects have encountered opposition from groups concerned about the impact on sacred tribal lands, threatened plant and animal species, and the aesthetic nature of communities. Public participation. The agreement seeks to promote the greater public participation in the setting process, providing a framework for resolving concerns without resorting to legal and political disputes. In rural America concerns, rural communities have expressed reservations about where and how solar projects are sited. National renewable energy goals, the United States aims to significantly increase its share of electricity from solar energy, necessitating larger solar projects. Partnership and example. Partnership between various organizations such as electric truck maker Rivian, as a while ago I've said, and the Nature Conservancy are cited example of how collaboration can lead to more responsive and efficient project development. Next, in critical analysis and commentary of viewpoints in the article, the agreement represents a positive step toward addressing the complex challenges associated with large-scale solar projects. It acknowledges the need to balance environmental concerns with the imperative of expanding renewable energy. The article highlights the importance of early public participation in the setting process, which can lead to more acceptable and efficient project development. However, it remains to be seen whether local opposition can be fully mitigated through this approach. The article mentions that the agreement does not involve the fossil fuel industry or conservative groups opposing renewable energy. This omission may limit its impact and effectiveness, as these groups can still pose significant hurdles to solar development at the local and political levels. Next, in additional information that supports or weakens the viewpoints in the article. Additional information could include case studies of solar projects that face opposition, data on the expansion of solar energy in the United States, an example of successful collaboration between renewable energy developers and environmental organizations. This information would help provide a more comprehensive understanding of the challenges and opportunities in the solar energy industry. Next, application and relevance of related course material. Environmental Science and Sustainability. The article relates to the challenges of balancing renewable energy development with environmental conservation and sustainability. Public Policy and Energy. The discussion and agreements involving various stakeholders are relevant to the study of energy policies and public engagement in decision-making. In climate change mitigation, the article underscores the importance of accelerating the deployment of solar energy to combat climate change. Next, the recommendation and conclusion. The article highlights the importance of collaboration and early public participation in addressing the challenges of large solar projects. To enhance the impact of the agreement and expedite the deployment of solar energy, it is essential for stakeholders to continue working together, engage with local communities, and consider the trade-offs and benefits of each project. Efforts to address land use, biodiversity, and aesthetic concerns should be complemented by policies that incentive and support the growth of renewable energy in the United States. Reference: Ben Evan, Energy Firms, Swing Groups, and Other Rich Deal on Solar Farms. The New York Times, October 12 to 2023. In my opinion for this as well, the agreement represents progress but falls short for what's truly necessary. Past experience shows that what national organizations endorse may not align with the preferences of local chapters or other regional environmental and conservational groups, which is the community plays important about the conflicted role in this matter. So in this setting of solar and wind installation has become embroiled in cultural disputes, it is imperative to combat the spread of misinformation propagated by fossil fuel interests in communities where large renewable energy projects are being considered. To achieve decarbonization, we must remove the political polarization from the placement of large-scale from these renewable energy projects. So the important for this project success is early community involvement and developers' willingness to remain adaptable. Superficial public engagement experts the situation. Opposition to large-scale renewable energy projects is multifaceted, stemming from emotions transitioning to a low-carbon economy. This transition lack of comprehension regarding the critical need for transitioning to a low-carbon economy. So this transition is essential not only for a healthy and sustainable environment, but also for national security and economic growth. So we often overlook human nature in our efforts to protect our mother nature. As long as climate change remains entangled in today's culture wars, it will be impossible to deploy clean energy technologies swiftly and extensively enough to avert the most severe consequences of climate change. So the efforts to address and land use this is the biodiversity. Is it true that aesthetic concerns should be complemented by policy that incentive and support the growth of renewable energy in the United States? Thank you, Professor, for this such assignment.